Hello everyone, this is Milan Samantray and I welcome you to UN Digital class. Okay. In today's class, we will discuss about basic performance equation and another concept of computer organization. Okay. So, before going to this equation, first let us discuss about performance. So, what do you mean by a performance? Performance means which computer is more faster or which computer is speed than other. Let us take an example. If I will ask you one question by keeping two computers in front of you, that give me the answer which computer is faster and which computer is slower. So, what you will do? First you will start the computer and see in which the bootup program is faster. Then you can tell me that this computer is faster or this computer is speed than other. Okay. Or you can install the similar type of program in both the computers and compare the speed of two computers with one another. Okay. So, by this situation manually we can get the performance of a system, but by using a equation or a formula we can get or we can calculate the performance of a system. Okay. So, let us see, the equation is T equals to N multiplied by S divided by R. So, this is the equation to calculate a performance of a system, a computer system. Okay. So, in many exams you will face a problem like in question it will given the value for N, S or R to calculate T or T or S to calculate N, like this. Let us see what this term means. Okay. So, what is the meaning of T? T is the time required to execute a complete program. Okay. So, the total time required to execute a complete program by who will execute? By the processor. Okay. Or you can call it as elapsed time. That means the time required by the processor to execute a complete program. Okay. Again I am repeating, the complete program, that means not an instruction or not a part of program, to execute the complete program. That means all the instruction included in that program must be executed, so that we can calculate the time required or the elapsed time. And next one is N. So, what this N represent? N is the actual number of instructions. Okay. Actual number of instructions. Actual number meaning the instructions which are being executed in a program. For example, there are some instructions like loop. Some instructions written within a loop can be executed multiple times according to the loop, and there are also some instructions which are not executed in the program execution, like comment lines. Okay. Or if we are writing some instructions on the basis of a branch statement or a condition statements, in some cases some of the instructions may not be executed. So, N is the number of instructions which are executed actually. Okay. And S is the average number of basic steps. Okay. So, to execute an instruction there are a lot of steps. Okay. So, what are the steps? Like let me discuss in brief way: fetch, execute, decode. These are some phases or steps which are required to execute an instruction. Okay. But you have to calculate the average number of basic steps. That means an instruction may need 5 basic steps or an instruction may need 10 basic steps. Okay. So, if there are 10 instructions let in a program and first instruction let in 5 steps, second instruction in 7 steps, like this, the average number of basic steps is the total step divided by the number of instructions. So, by this we can calculate the number of basic steps. Okay. And what is the value of R? R represents the clock rate, or it is your, what is the term? The term is cycles per second. Okay. And also we can measure this R by hertz. Megahertz means in million. Okay. If I will write 500 million cycles per second, what it will represent? It will represent 500 megahertz. Okay. When we are buying a computer, the processor may be written as 2.5 megahertz, 2.2 gigahertz. Gigahertz means billion. Okay. So, by using this we can calculate the value of R. Okay. So, let us see how we will decrease this time. Why decrease? Because we can say a computer is faster than other if less time is required to execute a program. Okay. If a computer needs 5 nanosecond to execute a program and another computer needs 2 nanosecond to execute the same program, then we can say that the second computer is faster than the previous. So, what we have to do? We have to decrease the value of t. Okay. So, to decrease the value of t, what will be the value of n, s and r? What we will do with this? As you can see in the basic performance equation, t is directly proportional to n and s and it is indirectly proportional to r. Okay. What this represent? That means if we will increase the value of n and s, then we can increase the value of t. In the same way, if we will decrease the value of n and s, we can decrease the value of t. And if we will increase the value of r, then we can decrease the value of t. So, let us see how we will decrease the value of n and s and how to increase this value of r. Okay. So that we can easily decrease the time required to execute a program, or we can call it the elapsed time. Okay. We have to decrease that t value. So, in computer organization we have to design a processor so that the t value will be minimum, but actually it is not possible in every cases. Sometimes we have to manipulate these values. Okay. So, let us see some methods by which we can decrease the value of n and s and increase the value of r. So, what is the equation? Equation is t equals to this. Okay. We have to decrease n and s value. So, what are the concept? So, to decrease the value of n and s value, we have to use some basic concept like pipelining. So, pipelining is one concept. By using this, we can easily decrease the value of n and s. That means, in pipelining, we are overlapping the execution of a program, or we are overlapping the execution of the instructions. Okay. About the pipeline, we will study later, but this is a concept, and another concept is superscalar operation. So, what do you mean by superscalar operation? By using this concept, we can execute more number of instructions or more number of steps in one clock cycle. Okay? More number of instructions in one clock cycle. Okay, so these are some concepts, and another concepts are by implementing the integrated circuit. Integrated circuits or the design of IC. By designing a well featured integrated circuit, we can decrease the value of n and s. That means, the number of instructions to being executed and the value of s means the basic steps basically. Okay. Next one is, we have to improve the value of r. How we will improve the value of r? By implementing a high frequency clock. Actually, what do you mean by clock cycle? We have to design the clock cycle in the way so that one basic step can be executed in one clock cycle. Okay. So, we have to implement a high frequency clock so that many more steps can be executed in one clock cycle. Okay. And next are some concepts like we have to design a compiler which will reduce the value of n cross s, because we know that to execute a program we need compiler. Okay. So, there are some compilers which are used to reduce the product value of n and s, not the single value for n or s, it will reduce the complete this product value. Okay. And there are also some other concepts by using which we can get a better performance system, or we can speed a computer system, or we can decrease the value of execution timing of an instruction or the elapsed time. Okay. So, let us see what are the concepts. There are the concept of multiprocessor and multi-computer. Okay. So, let us discuss about the concept of multiprocessor and multi-computer. By using this concept, we can speed up a computer system. See how? So, what do you mean by first multiprocessor? Multi means many. Okay. That means, in a multiprocessor computer system, we are having many processors. That means, we are having a simple computer system. Okay. This is one PC, personal computer, but within that PC we are having multiple CPUs. Let CPU 1, it is CPU 2, like this. Okay. That means, this system or this PC is having 4 CPUs or 4 processors. So, you can imagine if one processor required let 3 nanosecond to execute a program, then if we will use these 3 CPUs at a time, then what it will do? It may require less than 1 nanosecond to execute a program. Okay? But another question comes into mind that each CPU having its own memory or not. Okay? Because in the previous lecture we have already seen that processor requires memory to do the execution process. Okay? So, CPU, each processor must have a memory space so that it can fetch or it can store the result or it can fetch the operands from the memory. So, what they will do in the multiprocessor concept, each CPU share a single memory. That means a single computer have a single memory and that memory is shared by all these processors. So, this system can otherwise called as shared memory systems. Okay? Shared memory systems. What does it mean? It means all the processors share the same memory or the memory of that computer system. Okay. By using the shared memory concept, all the processors are connected to each other or they can communicate with each other. Okay. And in the multi-computer system, as you can see, there are only 2 terms which differentiate them. One is processor, another one is computer. That means, if we cannot implement multiple processors in a system, then what we will do to speed up a computer performance, we can connect multiple computers to get this performance. Okay. See how? Let this is one computer and this is another computer and this is another. Okay. Let this is PC1, this PC2 and it is PC3. Okay. And each system having their own processor and their own memory space also. It has its memory space, it has its. Okay. And these PCs are connected through a network. It forms a network of computers. And how they will communicate? Because in this multiprocessor concept, we are using the shared memory concept, so that by using the same memory location, one CPU can communicate with another. But here each CPU is having each system, okay, or each CPU is having its own memory space. So, how they will communicate? They will communicate by using a concept called as message passing. Okay. So, this is a basic difference. In multiprocessor computers, we are using shared memory concept, and in multi-computer system, we are using message passing concept to establish the connection or establish the communication between the processors basically. Okay. So, by using this concept, like by implementing a well featured integrated circuit or by implementing good versions of compiler or simply by using the pipelining concept or supercomputer concept and multiprocessor and multi-computer concept, we can enhance the performance of a computer system, and to calculate the performance of a computer system, we can use the basic performance equation. Okay. So, in the later classes, we will see how we will use this processor concept and other some concepts about computer organization. Thank you.